Hello, my darling women in feminine spaces. I got questions. What is one thing you do every single day that reminds you who you are and where you come from? I ask you this question because I have been going and scouring through social media, and I love so very much through the lens of psychology and through the lens of femininity. And I'm always so curious when I look at these perfectly curated makeup tutorials and how you should be wearing this color and how this is the coat of the season and how this is the shirt of the season and how this is the jewelry that you should be wearing. There's so much dictated information as to how you should be and how you should act and what you should wear. And my question to you is, have you learned who you are yet? Have you learned how you like to wear your makeup? Have you learned how you like to wear your clothes? Have you learned how you like these colors and they look good on your skin? Have you learned how to curate your life? What are your wants, your needs, your desires? Have you learned how to state a clear boundary? And I ask this because there's so much information that is being projected at all of us as to what we should do, how we should behave, how we should act, how we should show up for ourselves. And my question always comes from the point of, how do you curate your own self-awareness, being accountable and responsible for yourself? How are you learning? What are your favorite colors? Instead of putting on what somebody states is deemed the thing to wear in order for you to be you. Have you learned who you are? Are you learning how to curate yourself and your life, not through the lens of what somebody else wants you to do, but more through the lens of what you want to do? There's something so magnificent about learning a new lipstick color, for sure, because I love everything about that. But a bright red does not look good on my skin because I have warm undertones. And that's what I mean by learning yourself. So even though I love that red that I see or this burgundy that I see, a bright burgundy does not look good on me because I look very good with warm undertones because my color palette is a dark autumn. That's my season. It's my clothes. It's my color palette. So it's helped me understand and curate myself. So then when I see something like these beautiful burgundies that are bright, or I see this super bright red, I can go, oh my God, I love how that looks on her. And that is a really good color that I can't wear, but I love the way it looks on her lips. So let me see if I have a red on mine in my accoutrement of makeup and pull out that red and try it for myself to learn what looks good on me first. So it can be an influence versus a dictatorial statement as to what you should do, how you should be, and what you should wear to make you popular in society. And I say there's nothing wrong with looking at things and being influenced. My caution is to look at it through your lens of what you like, of what you want, on what looks good on you. Self-exploration is really getting to know who you are and you show up for yourself because it really impacts how you navigate your relationships and how you make decisions that impact your everyday life. I know it's very interesting because, girl, I have learned the hard way. I have definitely been a sheep with the flock in my younger years. And it did not help me. And it led me down a very dark path until I woke up from being the follower of many and learning to understand myself. What are the things that I like? What are the things that make me happy? What are the things that don't make me happy? And how do I respond accordingly? Because accountable for yourself means that you are respectful to yourself. And when you show respect for yourself, you show respect to other people. This yapping talking that I see so many, both men and women, talking about stuff, nonsense, without having a deeper understanding of yourself and the other person, comes across as rude and disrespectful. It shows your triggers. It shows that you don't know who you are when you allow another person's comments or statements to arise in you and show something less of yourself to another person because you're triggered. Having autonomy and having self-respect helps you understand, woof, that person said something to me that I don't particularly like. And why don't I particularly like that? And I'm not going to show myself up and be less than who I am by being disrespectful to myself by coming out yapping at another person, because it doesn't allow me to be in my own feminine state and my own feminine essence. You can definitely cut somebody down to size with great vocabulary, intentional phrasing, and a respectful frame in which you show yourself without being disrespectful to another person. And this is part of understanding your self-worth. It's part of really recognizing self-esteem. Because if somebody says something to you and you pop off, it's because you don't have self-esteem and you don't understand your worth in your life. And it's something that it took me so many years to learn. And I'm here kind of preaching, but also because I am a woman and I want all women to show up for themselves in that respectful, soft, feminine way, which means understanding who you are, where you come from, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, being accountable and responsible for yourself first, which helps you show up for others and also helps you indirectly teach people how to treat you because you're treating yourself with that type of respect, because that's how you're showing up in your life. Does that make sense? So when I'm watching all these things and I'm looking at what you're supposed to be wearing, what are the colors you're supposed to be wearing, how you should behave and how to have a soft life and have all these kind of things, if you don't have the foundation of understanding who you are and where you come from and recognizing that just because your life experience was this does not dictate who you are. I have made so many unbelievable mistakes in my life, things that have really led me down a very dark road and a very dark path. And then I recognize, girl, I don't want to be that person. What are the decisions that I'm making that's leading me down this path? What is an example of a person that I want to be like? And how do I emulate them in such a way that I'm myself, but I pull out these significant values or perhaps character traits that they have that I can understand, copy paste for myself, apply it, and show up and curate that version of myself. Because we all got her. We just have to find her within us and bring her out, which is all about getting to know you. I hope this makes sense. I trust it makes sense because I am all about us women empowering ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves, because that's how we rise collectively and empower one another to be the best versions of ourselves. Pussily Puss.